blonde hair, blue eyes that'll make you faint.
Hello, Diablo fans. Alright, not gonna lie, I'd love to do this in-game because I got on to test some stuff out, but, you know, there's a 10-hour wait to queue because they have 2,000% drop rate on the PTR, which is pretty much useless for people. I mean, it kind of helps them test stuff, but, you know, if not all of us can get on, it's just a pain in the ass. So, I'm gonna real quick go over some of the important parts of the patch notes. I'm going to start with Kanai's cube because it is the sickest item in the game. So the first thing I'm going to say is Kanai's cube is what uses those specific mats you get from caches when you're doing bounties. And they added some nice things with the caches. So you have a chance to get a bonus cache from the bonus act in your bounty. And if you're doing T10, you can get you get a stack of 4 of whatever mats in that act, plus the bonus cache will be another full cache, so you get a stack of 8 total. Now, the thing about Kanai's cube is it's pretty expensive to completely re-roll a legendary, and I mean, I kind of understand that, but it's also kind of counterintuitive. It really only works well, in my opinion, on an item where it's like Calamity, hard to find item. You want a decent roll for your offhand, so you say, all right, fine, I'll re-roll it completely once and try to get a better roll. With Kanai's cube, anything that re-rolls your legendary or turns it into a legendary or whatever, you have a 10% chance, because that's the chance you have to find ancient item, to get your re-roll to be ancient. So Kanai's cube offers some very useful transmutations. The first thing it offers is to extract the legendary power, which is what we're all waiting for. Now that it's out, we have a few confirmed things. So, to get Kanai's cube, all you have to do is talk to Zoltan Cool. He'll be like, yo, there's a place, it's in Act 3, because if you haven't noticed, Act 3 is kind of where Ariat is, and Mount Ariat is where the barbarians were, and this new place is where, the ruins of Sescheron are where you find more about the barbarians' lore. So, extracting the legendary power, it makes it so you destroy an item completely, but the thing is, it automatically upgrades that legendary passive to full. So if you destroy, let's say, a furnace, it'll automatically give you the full power of a 100% perfect furnace's passive elite damage. And to do this, it just costs 1 of each mat from each act, so it's, I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but, so it's basically 5 of those mats, some Death's Breaths, which are pretty easy to get, and bam, you have it in, these are shared across characters, so let's say you, extract the power of a ring of Royal Grandeur on your Demon Hunter. It's also available on every other character you have. So reforging a legendary item takes 5 of those mats. It takes, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure this is the thing that takes 50 souls, and it will completely reroll it. 10% chance to be ancient. It will reroll every single thing about the item. It's as if you found it again. So, I don't know. It's really hard to justify spamming that. The only time I would ever really suggest it is if you literally need that one item to be better. So, maybe. Upgrading the rare item, I tested this out. Basically, it rolls into a legendary of the same. So if it's a quiver, it can roll into, for instance, Dead Man's Legacy. Convert set item is actually really, really useful in some instances. Now, converting your set item makes it turn it into another, it cannot turn into the same, another set item from that set. It's pretty cheap. I think 5 or 10 souls and the same amount of Death's Breaths. I think it's 10 and 10. Now, it's not really great. It's good if you don't care if it's ancient or not, but where it really shines is when it's a 2 set, like Shinlong's or Shantoto. It will go back and forth. You just roll it until it's ancient with a good roll. It's pretty cheap. On the PTR, I got a Shinlong's Fist. I just rolled. Eventually, I got an amazing roll, and I'm using it. So, really shines there. Removing level requirement. This actually takes... It completely uses one of your level 25 plus Gem of Ease. So, if you really need a level 1 to wear really good gear, have at it. Converting your gems, I haven't done this. I mean, I don't remember exactly what it takes. It's not that expensive, but if you really need emeralds or something, I guess this works, but I can't really imagine that many people needing this. And converting the crafting materials is another great thing. So you have, I had 15,000 crystals because I don't use the damn things. I find them all the time. I stopped picking them up. But you can go to a vendor, buy a bunch of blue items, and use that as one of the blue items. So you put crystals in there, 100 crystals, that one blue item, some Death's Breath, bam, you get 100 arcane dust, and you can do the same thing over and over and over. You don't actually have to find them. You can just go buy them from the vendor, and bam, you're transmuting stuff. So extremely awesome. Like Kanai's cube is really workable. And other than that, they have done some cool things. Torment 10, it actually they actually compare that in the game. So Torment 10 is officially quote Greater Rift 45. If you complete Torment 10, you should be able to complete Greater Rift 45. The one thing I will have to say about regular rifts now is they are much slower than they used to be to complete. The bar just simply doesn't fill up as fast as you're used to, and they actually drop orbs in those in those games now for your progress bars. So that's great. They reworked experience, stuff like this. They told you this. I'm kind of just pointing out some of the big things I saw. One really interesting thing is knockbacks are now subject to the crowd control resistance rules. So at 65% resistance, they're immune to it. So Nats, Demon Hunters, you're gonna find your damage diminish a little bit after a certain amount of time, and by a little bit I mean like a lot of it. So kinda gotta pay attention to that. Crowd control effects are now they now automatically apply 20% crowd control resistance regardless of the duration. So eventually, if you blind, let's say you use the Monk's Blind 4 times, you are no longer going to be able to blind that target. So you really have to use that stuff more efficiently now if you're going to use it at all. For classes, I'm not really going to go through a bunch of the different changes. You can check that stuff out on your own. I'm not really trying to go through any builds or anything, though I have been trying to. I have been trying some different builds with my Monk. I actually have had a lot of fun doing it. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Azure Wrath, they changed. They increased the damage on it. Fulminator increased the damage. Your Hellfire Amulet, this is actually really important, now rules with a guaranteed socket. So that takes one step out of the equation. Also, instead of dropping keys for your or to make the stupid what the hell? I don't remember what they're called. The stupid things to open the gate to fight Uber Diablo and stuff. They simply drop that item. So you kill the one in Act 4, bam, you have the thing to open the gate to fight Uber Diablo. You no longer have to farm all 4 acts for 4 keys to transmute them all into one gate. Some new stuff, new bracers, blah blah blah. This stuff you can check out on your own. Blah 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 blah. Oh, new seasonal stuff. Oh man, I have to see all of it. Alright, so adventure mode. As I said, there will be 1 bonus act per game. In that bonus act, you will get a bonus cache. Now, that cache is extremely important. They no longer even drop Rift Keystones. You no longer need them. So eventually this will turn into, alright, now I've done a million bounties, I'm good to go for a while. So that's okay. They have at least pumped some life into bounties to make adventure more worth it. So at level 70 they have their specific mat. I've been finding an insane amount of royal rings on the PTR. I'm guessing that's just the 2000% drop rate, or I'm not really sure, but I in caches in one game I found at least 3. It was really weird. I didn't really know what was going on. Like I said, Nephilim Rifts no longer require the keystones. Now, the way the trials work is, let's say you completed Torment 10. Now, I'm pretty sure this is how it works. Since Torment 10 is equal to 45, you can also use I don't know, the Greater Rift Keystone, that's all it's called now. You can also use that to do a GR45. If you complete that, then you can go on to the next ones, and it's harder to progress through. But since I have completed a 55, I'm now able to spam 55s as much as I want to. Oh, sorry, here they are. Infernal Machines, that's what they're called. So they significantly reduce monster damage in Greater Rift 25. I noticed that, or in above, I noticed that when I was playing this, I was still getting hit really hard. What I think they're trying to do is say, alright, since you guys have to go out there and kill shit, now we're going to make it a little easier for you to live if you simply stack some toughness. So you might see a little less glass cannon stuff, who knows. I mean, Nats, you might start seeing people say, all right, I need a lot more toughness so I can just live and I can spam. Or you might see people going, you know what, no, I don't need that toughness. I don't care how much damage they do. I'm going to get one shot anyway. That's how it is now. I don't expect that to change much, but you might see a few more different builds, just a variety of builds. So, crafting, as I said in a previous video, they're just kind of condensing it. I'm not really worried about this. You can look at this yourself. One thing I want to point out is be very wary of some of these changes. Jailer, very good, very good. I don't know how this wasn't changed so long ago, that each individual monster had their own cooldown on Jailer in a pack. That's just insanely stupid. So they made the damage reduced by 50%. Duration of it has been increased to compensate because they're no longer chain jailing you. And now the cooldown between monsters in the same pack jailer has been greatly increased. So they don't jail you, jail you, jail you. Poison enchanted monsters in the same pack now have a shared cooldown on casting this ability. Now they only cast one bomb at once. And the individual monster cooldown has been slightly reduced to compensate for that. The Waller effects can no longer frickin' jail you in the literally, it was the most retarded thing to see an X on your character that you couldn't move out of. Whose idea was that? That is a terrible plan. They can no longer do that. Thank God. So they're adjusting. This means I have to go and do some data mining, but they're adjusting the percentage completion for your bar and the experience based on how hard it is to kill monsters, which is great news. Reflect damage, this is, be so wary of this. It will, when there's one monster left in the bag, no longer can all three cast it, but since only one can cast it, they greatly increase the damage. Like, it is ridiculous sometimes. And when it's down to that last monster, a lot of the time, it is just always up. So, I mean, you can get around this. You can kill it still, just be extremely cautious because it sounds like, oh man, reflect damage will be so much easier to deal with. But it's only easier to deal with as long as all three monsters are up. Some of the stuff I'm not too worried about. They redid some stuff. Corrupted Angels can no longer dash over terrain that can be walked on. They made it so that hopefully Rift Guardians aren't killing you from off screen, which is just ridiculous. Winged Assassins, thank God, no longer deal damage if they are killed during their leap attacks. That was the stupidest idea. Like, you couldn't kill them in the leap attack. They were left with one life and they would just damage you. That's a one shot to a lot of people. So it's like, no. I'm not going to go through all these Rift Guardian changes. You should go through them, though. Make sure you know exactly what you're getting into. And with that, I'm going to end it here. I will try to make a live version of this video so I can show you all the things I talked about with Kanai's Cube. Until then, I hope you guys learned something, and I am